Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my end of the year video. A video where I'm going to talk about all the shenanigans I got up to this year, 2023. I wanted to turn this normal channel update thing into something a little more fun because it's the end of the year and all that. So what I wanted to do is tell you what my favorite series that I did on the channel was this year and what my favorite game that I played this year is. So, first, I didn't play a single new release this year, 2023 new releases. Quite a few came out, quite a few. I didn't play any of them because I'm about a decade behind on my backlog. So I'm only going to include games that I played for the first time that were new to me, which there were a few in 2023. So let's first though, let's talk about my favorite series that I recorded this year. Slim pickings, if we're being honest, since I only did two series that I finished this year. The two games that I played this year they were actually both Zelda games, Majora's Mask and Link to the Past. So I'm not going to count Lore and Loot since that's not really, it's kind of ongoing, it's not really a series, and it's just ongoing all the time. And Tale of Two Wastelands, I didn't finish, I didn't beat it, I'm not even close, it's just, that's going to be a long-term project. So I'm not going to count that either. But for anyone that watched both of those series, I don't think it's going to be a shocker to learn that Majora's Mask comes in second. Now, don't get me wrong, the game itself is great. I love this game. It's a great game. However, I did not enjoy it as a series. I didn't have fun recording it, especially the second half of the game, and my enjoyment of it as a series was hit pretty hard. The problem that I had was that I played it on the original Nintendo 64 cart, and I didn't have the luxury of save states. And it's an old game, which, you know, older games, you can't just save whenever you want. You know, they're weird like that. You know how it was. Well, maybe you don't if you're a young whippersnapper. But if you're old like me, you remember when games didn't just save wherever you wanted. There was no quick save. You had to hit the owl statues to save. And, oh, by the way the game works, you only have 3 in-game days to do what you have to do. So what I ended up having to do was that I had to research and plan everything I was going to do each episode. And this got real tedious. Needless to say, by the end I wasn't having a good time. And the reason I had to plan this out, you can't just, let me explain. I had very busy evening time, right? Like I had things to do. So I only had about an hour to play, and that included my research. So I'm like, I'm going online and doing all this research just to make sure that I'm doing the game the most optimal way. And anyway, it wasn't fun. Link to the Past, on the other hand, was easy to record because I recorded on the Wii U. I had save states, which meant I could leave the game off at any point, at any spot, and pick it back up immediately in that same spot for the next episode, which is what I did every time. Quite honestly, I think Link to the Past is a better game than Majora's Mask, and that's just my opinion. I will say, Link to the Past is... I haven't played all of them in a while, but I think Link to the Past is the best Zelda. I really do. I think it's the best. It's not my favorite. Ocarina of Time is still my favorite, probably. But I think Link to the Past is just a better game. I think it's just really well done. I think it lives up to the hype it had back then, and I think it aged really well. You can pick it up today and not really know that it's a game from a long time ago, you know? Anyway, that's just me. So my favorite series that I did this year, the award goes to Link to the Past. Now, as far as my favorite game that I played this year, I played a few new games, but I'm going to give a quick shout out / honorable mention to the Resident Evil 2 remake. That was really well done, I thought. I had no expectations going into it, but man, was that game scary. It stayed pretty true to the original Resident Evil 2, not true-ish, I guess. But man, like the Resident Evil 2 wasn't that. I don't know. Maybe it's because it was on. I played on the GameCube and it had old graphics and stuff, like PlayStation 2 graphics. But I mean, it was tense. It was a tense game. But man, Resident Evil 2 Remake was terrifying. I just remember one place where you open a locker and a dead body comes out, and I screamed. And then from that moment on, anytime I opened lockers, I just got so tense every single time. Phenomenal. I would definitely recommend if you are into scary games. A really good game. Anyway, in second place comes Divinity Original Sin Enhanced Edition. This game was phenomenal. Had witty writing, incredibly fun combat system, and I had a blast playing it. Maybe if I had one critique of the game, well, not maybe, it's definitely a critique of the game that I had, it would be the pacing. I think is how I would word it. The game sometimes it gives you too much freedom to do stuff and not enough guidance. And but there's still dead ends. There's like 5 or 6 paths you can take. And a bunch of them will have dead ends, but those paths have branching paths too. And then those have dead ends. So you could like go a completely wrong way, get into a completely new area that you're not supposed to be at yet because you haven't done other stuff, and then just get stuck and have no idea what you're supposed to do. I'm like, I thought I did everything, but I didn't. Or they'll present an obstacle and they don't really tell you that you can beat it now. Like, you can get past this, but we're not going to tell you. Also, so I'm like, oh, maybe I should go back and do something else and come back later. Wrong, you're supposed to do it now. But they don't tell you that. It's kind of weird. That would be my critique of it. However, the rest of the game was really, really good. Love the combat, love the writing, love the music, love everything. Like, basically everything about it. I am super excited to eventually get to Divinity 2 and, of course, then Baldur's Gate 3. Here's the thing. Normally, I would take that critique and run like it wouldn't matter. This game was really, really good. But the thing that, like, I would put this game, like, I would have made it my number one, except for Arkham Asylum, which is a game that I played for the first time this year too. And Arkham Asylum, first of all, I know this is not Arkham Asylum, this is Arkham City footage, but I had already uninstalled Arkham Asylum by the time I was doing this. So just pretend it's Arkham Asylum, and it's kind of the same, but better. It's kind of the same, but better. But I didn't beat City, so I'm not putting it on my list. Anyway, yeah, Arkham Asylum may be in my top 10 favorite games of all time. It's that good. It's that good. The game, like, it just everything. I was talking about pacing with Divinity. Arkham Asylum does pacing perfect. You walk in, the story hits you in the face, and then, like, bam, it kicks you off, and it teaches you new game mechanics as you go. The game mechanics are easy to do, but hard to master. I remember the first time I got my first 10-hit combo. Man, it felt so good. I was like, I'm getting this. I'm getting it. It's not just clicking, man. You got to click with rhythm. It's the whole point. I felt the game was creepy at times. Like, atmosphere was really, really good. I thought the combat was great. The boss battles were, except for the final boss was kind of lame. I'm not gonna lie, pretty lame. But other than that, like, for example, you go into Croc's lair. Oh my, the apprehension and anxiety I had going in there because they had built him up so much the entire game. Like, it just made me nervous the entire time I was there. Everything was so good. How they present all the villains, how they play a role, even though they're not, like, in the game, but they're still in the game, you know what I mean? And honestly, I've never 100% completed a game, but the Riddler challenges, man, I went for all of them. I had to. I couldn't handle it. It was too much to bear to have him mock me. And there's a line in the game where it's like, you probably looked this up on the internet. I was like, that's it. I'm finding them all. And it took me a while, but I did find them all. I'm not gonna lie, I looked a couple of them up. But anyway, If you haven't played Arkham Asylum, play the game. I'm into Arkham City now, and it's really, really good. You can tell they tweaked a little bit of the game, like it's a lot more fluid. I'm loving the Catwoman sequences. It's only been one so far, but the game's really good. The game is really, really good. But anyway, that's it for my two best games of the year that I played. And that is it for my list, but I am curious to know about your list. What was your favorite game of 2023? Did you play any new releases? I'm curious to know, do people buy new games? Like this year, did people play brand new games that came out this year? Or are you like me? Do you wait for a sale? Do you wait to see if they're, bug free or fixed? If they're playable on release, to say it that way, sadly, or do you just buy? Do you pre-order? Are you like, because I'm hyped about some games, but I don't do it. I just don't. And also, I'm curious to know what your favorite series of mine, obviously out of the two games, Majora's Mask or Link to the Past, or Lore and Loot, or even Casual Corner, whatever it was. I did House Flipper and Chef. So yeah, just curious to know what the people think in terms of the content. What was your favorite content of mine for this year? Anyway, talking about what comes next for the channel, I'm going to keep this one very brief. I'm going to tackle my backlog very heavily this year. So I'm going to start with a game that I never beat as a kid, but I played a lot, and that's going to be Super Mario Bros. 2. And then I have a Zelda game that I have in mind, although I'm not 100% set, but I think I'm going to go this particular route. There are still quite a few games, Zelda games I haven't played, so I'm going to move into those next. But yeah, Super Mario Bros. 2, and of course I've been talking about it for literally years at this point. Metroid Other M, that's definitely happening 2024. It's definitely happening this coming up year. But anyway, that is going to do it for me. Lore and Loot will continue as usual, and we'll keep on chugging with Tale of Two Wastelands. So hope you guys had a very nice 2023, and I hope 2024 is even better for everyone. Thanks for joining. For all the new subscribers, thank you for subscribing to the channel this year, and I'll see you in the videos. Bye.